Hello everybody, and welcome to a Minecraft. This one's going to be a Let's Play of sorts. As you can see, I've done a little bit of mining and building off screen. I got my tools and my items already set up. And the first thing we should probably do is, my screen stopped. First thing we should probably do is show you what I've got. So I just went upstairs and realized there were some monsters outside. Killed them, got a little bit of stuff. But yeah, this is, besides like this right here, usually what I have for my inventory. Well, and that I don't usually carry a rotten flash. This is usually what I have in my inventory. I usually bring two pickaxe. Like this is my standard walking around. I still haven't beaten the Ender Dragon. This is my base, by the way. I hate trying to build actual buildings, so I do the find a place and dig in and build a hole, because everything just kind of looks like a flying saucer when I build it. So I have built this my entrance way. It's got the arches right over here to my ender portal, or my nether portal. Yeah, I love the view from right here. I made like an axolotl stained glass leading into my little storage room over here. There in a little bit. I'm still working on the roof there. I'm kind of doing some green, kind of trying to make it look like there's trees growing up either side of this. But this is what I have built so far for it. I've got this little bit of water. Now, the thing I'm trying to do next is I've got to replace all of the regular stone in the walls here with the deep cobblestone, deep slate. So that's what I've got to work on next. But we've got a little water pool in here. I like to have the multi-layer, dimensional yield to this build. Verticality. The only problem is I end up not using it. I need to put a new way up here. I end up just climbing the walls right there. Oh, another thing. This is, if you see him, this is my axolotl. His name's Busker. And just kind of roams freely. Go up this side. Now this is kind of this is the first thing that I built as far as trying to figure out what I want to do in this world. So hopefully I'm hoping to get this kind of spruce wood, spruce leaves kind of vibe going through the entire place. Mostly I'm doing doors and trapdoors and spruce, but I'm doing all of my wood finish stuff, see the bottom of the bridge there, and dark oak. You can see up in here, all the wood in there is dark oak. So this, I wanted to do a little bit of redstone with this when I first got into the server. So what I'll usually do is I'll have a chest with all of my stuff that I need in order to make my stuff that I need. This is basically just I usually keep one of each of the enchantable things in the chest here. And then I use those for enchanting. And this empty chest that has a minecart that runs back and forth with it's not called a funnel. Hopper in it. And back here. Now I was gonna build a giant storage area, but then I realized you can probably hear them a little bit in the background. But there's some villagers that I'm right nearby, and I've started. So So most of my time so far on this server was getting a villager farm set up. This is my stick farm. Basically, I use it for trading with some villagers. And then the next steps in my build over here, I want to replace this with a wood and kind of like a wood blackstone floor area over here. And I want to like build up pillars to the ceiling, and I want to make this into like little blacksmith slash like weapon and armor storage area. And when I first moved into this ravine, I thought it was really cool to just like build into it and make it kind of my own thing. And I want to do like this with the new moss block. I want to do like a cool natural floor through the bottom of it. But another thing I noticed is that there is actually another ravine right here, right next to the one that I'm working on. So I figured if I finish up all of my ravine stuff over on this side, I'll probably build a big wall up to about here, because my trade stuff kind of takes up the roof above here. But then I'll dig through and make this into a similar, like probably like slightly different style, but still a similar idea. And I guess I can show you this next. So this is some things I want to do is as I build farms around here, I want to use these orange pipes to kind of move things around. And right now, this is just a rough build because I just want to concept it. But when and I'm by no means a redstone genius. All of my builds are pretty much like Google. This is the one problem with bamboo farms like this. Sometimes the bamboo will get caught on top of the stalk and it'll just despawn. So I'm not getting that one. But for the most part, it's pretty good to set up. And you don't, once you have a fully functional villager farm, you don't really need to, get that much in terms of resources to run it. This is just my villager breeding area. I don't know what I want to do with this room down here. I might do like a concrete build, like a concrete transfer area or something, just something simple. But yeah, right now it's just like my villager storage basically. And then this is my water left, and I still need to get a couple of villagers from that farm, so I run this down here and down back, and that leads over to that farm I just showed you. But once I'm done filling up my villager area over here, I'm gonna clean out this track, and right here, so this is something that I built so that I could get carrots to feed the villagers. But yeah, again, I just looked up 1.17 mini farm, found lots and lots of different guides that all have different builds. This is just like it's not like the fastest build you can do without doing like lighting trickery stuff, but it's quick enough for what I needed to do, especially because most of my villager farming is already done. I've moved so I don't have a bedroom for myself anywhere in this place yet. It's alright. something that makes me kind of wish that I had a less clicky setup. But yeah, as you can see, I got my villagers kind of set up here. I have 2 Fletchers out here so that I can get sticks into emeralds, which is probably the easiest way to get emeralds. So just come back over to these guys and say, hey, thank you, and thank you, and so now I've got to have a stack of emeralds that I'll throw in my pile. And, you know, as you can see, if you know villager trading, you already probably know exactly how I'm doing all of this, but let's throw some green in there for paper. And so, the first thing I wanted to do with the villager trading was get some good librarians for books. And so, I've got some of my favorite. So, I figured since it only costs 1 emerald and 1 book, I could get myself just power 4 instead of power 5. And it's good enough. I want Riptide eventually for a trident if I ever get one. And I figured Fortune 2 is kind of a cool second slot. Of course, my Feather Falling guy. But I have Feather Falling. Looting 3 for swords. Silk Touch. I don't know if I'm ever going to use Sweeping Edge. I don't really use it. Got my Mending. I might eventually make a Sweeping Edge sword for mob farms, but yeah. Got my Mending book, probably the most useful book in all of Minecraft. Respiration 3, which is just nice to have, and an Efficiency 5. Now this one took a little while. Actually, I still haven't converted and unconverted the guys over on this side because I'm not done gathering. I'm not done deciding really what I want for that side, and it seemed like I don't have a guy for this slot. And so I'm trying to decide. I've got my Protection 4 guy. I got him beaten up so that he would have a better deal for protection, so that I get protection, unbreaking, and mending on all of my different things. Get that respiration 3, unbreaking, mending, brought 4, unbreaking, mending, brought 4, unbreaking, mending, and then Featherfall, mending, unbreaking, brought 4. I don't like having like this superfluous extra stuff on my builds. So I don't have like Frostwalker or anything, or like I know there's a bunch of different water-based things for helmets, and I know I could get like blast protection or fire protection, and I might get fire protection because I find the most common way to die once you get to this part in the game is through lava. But usually, for me, that's in the Nether. And now that I'm at the point that I am in the game, and I've found a Nether fortress, which is always super nice. I have potion making, and I can make fire resistance potion. So with that, I can kind of take my setup and run with it. Of course, some of these guys I haven't traded with at all yet, so like I need to figure out what I want these guys to have. I might do fire protection, or fire proofing, and blast proofing on one of these, like the 2 of these guys, because I think that's basically all I still need. Besides maybe like I don't use crossbows. I find ever. I know they do a lot of damage, but I just don't like the whole charge and leave them there kind of setup. And then I got myself a farmer, and the reason I got the farmer is just so that I could get apples, because it's so hard to actually find apples levels in Minecraft and having like a 1 emerald, because I'd already had the sticks and I was trying to get all of these guys converted. And I found that my apples that I'd naturally just found around the world disappeared very quickly. So yeah, got a Fortune 3 book guy over here, and I've logged him in because I figure I have a Fortune 2 somewhere, but Fortune 3 is kind of nice to just have. This guy, so I didn't realize that you could just keep swapping out the lectern in front of them to swap out what their trades were. So one thing I was doing is I was trading paper to get them up to the next level to see what their second book was, and if I didn't like them, their first trades or their second trades, then I would just get rid of them. And like, it's nice having a couple of the guys that trade for lanterns, because an emerald for a lantern is basically free at this point, because lanterns normally they would cost a stick, a piece of coal, and eight iron ingots. But now I can basically get them for the price of 1 stick instead, which is very nice. And then this guy is going to be a pain to convert because I have to run track all the way behind. And I'll show you my little setup behind this in a second here. Like, this isn't even that expensive for something that's 1 round between those 2 guys for sharpness. So like, how often are you building a new sword that you need the sharpness that often? So yeah, these guys, they're not trading. Either way, yeah, I'll show you now behind them. Okay, so this is Grunk. He is the brains behind this operation. When I say brains, it means he eats the brains of the villagers and turns them into zombies. So, if you don't have a villager farm and you want to set one up, this is what I've been doing. So I put down track up until the spot where the villagers, and to keep them in place, I keep a trapdoor on this side, and the lectern blocks them from getting out over on that side. And I'll basically just run the track right next to them. I'll put on my shield, and I'll push the zombie over, and when the zombie's sitting right next to him, he will usually still be trying to pathfind to me. So he'll be staring at me. So if I break line of sight by just standing over here, you can watch the zombie beat up the villager and transform them into a zombie villager. Now with the setup I have here, I can kind of like convert this guy, move this block over here, put down a little bit of track, push the zombie, convert that guy, and then move the block, convert this guy, and then put a splash potion of weakness on all 3 of them at the same time, and give all 3 of them an apple. And it would lower the prices on all 3 of their trades and not just 1. So that's a good way to conserve your weakness potions. Especially because, like, I really don't have that much mushroom or well, what are the ingredients? Spider eyes, that's what I was thinking of. I really don't have that many spider eyes. Oh, and also there's a slime chunk somewhere around here, which is kind of a pain. But it does help the fact that I don't really have any other way of getting slime. So at least I get slime through that. What's here? So I do kind of, I don't call it cheating because it's readily available to me, and I don't like X-ray in the world or anything. But I use chunk finder things to figure out where the nearest, like I figured out where my nearest desert is, where my nearest amethyst is, just so I could set up little spots for that. I didn't do it for spawners because very early on I found a decent spawner area, and I'll go show you my little skeleton spawner farm over here. But I used it to find a 3 slime chunk area right next to each other over there, and I haven't converted it into a farm yet. Because really, how much do you possibly need for slime? Speaking of skeletons, but yeah, just fall down to the hole here. So this is where the skeletons pop out. This is where. So there's a few spawners around here, and eventually I might make it into a triple spawner farm. I know that there's another spider spawner somewhere around here. I just can't remember which direction. Yeah, right here. These two are within like 10 blocks of each other. And then there's a skeleton spawner like right below this. So like I could definitely turn this into a triple spawners farm. I just don't know how to make a spawner farm that works with spiders or with cave spiders and skeletons. So I'll have to do some looking into that. But this is like it's being so close to my base, and I just gotta wander upon this area. And like sometimes, when you're going through abandoned mine shafts, I'll just kind of break those spawners as you come across them. But there were so many cave spiders, I was like, there has to be a double spawner around here. Sure enough, I found a double. And I know that there's a third spider spawner somewhere nearby, and I would need to measure out to it to make sure. But I think it might even be able to be a quad spawner in this area with cave spiders and skeletons. I remember in an old Minecraft world that I had when I was younger, I had a 2 spider spawner for cave spiders, and I built it into a farm, and it worked super well. But it was when I was like little. I honestly don't remember how they work. Might as well put an item in my offhand. Take the experience. And the nice thing about mending is you get I need to put a just like a thing to get rid of all of the extra junk I don't need from here. Because like who uses I really do want to make a thorns set. I feel like thorns sets are really funny. But yeah. I'll probably get rid of that bone too. Yeah, other things that I have so far in this world, I'll go show you where I have my amethyst. I basically just went, so I also found like an amethyst chunk, a finder online, and I basically just googled like amethyst chunk finder, put in my world's seed, and used that. Here's where I've been getting all my paper, and I guess I'll show you setup. So I found these 2 llamas, and they were gratefully donated to me. Is there a way to check? Yeah. So unfortunately, they're not very good in terms of. Oops. I don't. This guy's all right. He's got 9 slots, but yeah, they've got the villager trade colors, which is trader colors, which is kind of cool. So those 2 live there now. They won't despawn because they're, name tagged and everything. I kind of adopted them after a zombie killed their dad. Or their villager, I guess. And just cow farm. I just, go up there with my looting sword every so often and beat them to there's not really any reason to have this big farm up here, other than like if I need a lot of carrots all at once, or just kind of like every once in a while, I'll throw all of the stuff from here into these and just get a little bit of extra bone meal. But now, like, I set this up before I found the skeleton spawner over there, so I've been using the skeleton spawner for bone meal at this point. And so another thing I want to do is I want to build a tunnel from my base over to this one, and we'll see if I can find it right away. Yeah, so these two holes right here lead to. Okay, I have to put amethyst. Go. Making sure from right there. I need to put some torches in here. So yeah, I just found this a little bit ago, and I use it for my amethyst for the cave, and I've got like a couple, like almost a double chest's worth of amethyst, as well as like different stages of amethyst growth. So don't really need it too badly, but it's nice to have. And like the sun's going down, so I'll head back to the house. I'll show you where the slime chunk is, and then I think we're far enough. Yeah, we're 30 minutes in, so I'll show you where my slime chunk is, and then after that, we will call it for this episode. But then, one thing I really wanted to do is I wanted to go kill a dragon and start looking for wings with you guys. So we'll do that in the next video. I've got fire stuff. I'll swap. So I'm already pretty much prepped. I've got my armor, and I got my sword and my bow. I'm probably gonna fix this bow before I leave, but I'll bring just like a simple. I'm sure I've got an efficiency 4 unbreaking 3 pickaxe in my chests over there. I'll bring that, because like what I really want to do next is beat the Ender Dragon, get some elytra, and then set up an Enderman farm for Ender Pearls and for experience. Because I don't think that there's anything in this game that's as fast for experience as an Enderman farm. Besides, I think maybe gold farms. But I also don't have a gold farm yet, so I have all of the things I need to make like these sets in like a minute. Like, I go in here, I've got quite a bit of iron, quite a bit of copper. This is entire, like, I set up this world for 1.17, and then up here I've got like, this was my early game leveling strategy, was to just go and mine all of the nether quartz that was near my first portal, and boy does that stuff ever level you up fast. But like, yeah, I think I've got like a stack of diamonds in my enchanting room over there, so I've probably got like 2.5 stacks of diamonds total in the world. Oops. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this quick look into my Minecraft world, and I hope that you will enjoy. Here's my axolotls that I'm gonna. So, quick aside. One of the things I really want to do with this base is like a through line is water, so like kind of make it so that it's like this green, like decaying old ruin with leaves growing everywhere, and with as I said earlier, this is going to be a little village area with a blacksmith area. Oh, we got here just in time for the bamboo to get gathered. So it goes into hoppers, gets sent out through a dropper, and it gets sent up the pipe, which then shoots it across. You can see it moving if you look. And then it goes down into hoppers over there where it goes into the chests. I think I picked up this pipe design watching Hermitcraft, which is I watch quite a few different Hermitcraft players. But yeah, this build is nothing like compared to some of the stuff they do, but it's cozy and it's my house, so oh, the other thing I've been working on, I need to make this a little bit more homey up here with some extra detail. Maybe like actually I think this might end up being like a bedroom slash I've got the view out into the axolotl face and over towards villagers and everything, and eventually once this wall is completely redone, I think it's going to be like an awesome view with a little bits and speckles of Emma. And then eventually I want to run more piping things through the walls. That's it. I think it's just kind of a cool look. We've also got this brewing stand. It's over. I basically just threw down a double chest here. I'm probably gonna put a couple over here, and then just use a couple brewing stands in here. Swap this out for a full block, so I can put a second brewing stand right next to this one. I don't use potions that often, but one thing I used to use potions for was for mining runs. I would take an ender chest with some shulker boxes in it, and you go out into the nether, go out like 1,000 blocks in a direction, build a end portal, or a nether portal, end portal, and then now that you're in like completely, because that's gonna take you like really far out in your actual world, and then you just go into a cave over there, use night vision, potions, and just sprint through. And when you find like a cave system, it's more dangerous than most like mining, but I find it to be pretty fun because it gets the juices flowing a little bit. And if you use a silk touch pick to mine instead of a fortune pick, then you get a lot of stuff, and you bring it back to the base. And then, so in my old Minecraft world that I lost when I lost the hard drive on my old computer, I had like a little room where I would go into, and it was just a completely empty room. And I would place down all of the blocks and then break them, so that it was just like you get that satisfying moment of going through and seeing exactly how much you gathered. I haven't done that at all in this world. I've basically just been digging down and strip mining in different directions to try and find diamonds and things. Now that I have like a decent supply, I don't think I'm going to be doing a huge amount of mining until I can get myself until I decide to start doing that like run through mine system, or until I get myself a haste beacon or another 8 pickaxe with a haste beacon, which would be nice to have. So anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode. And, hopefully I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye. Have a good one. Say goodbye. He says goodbye.